Hello, Debrix here, back with another video. Today we have my Five Nights at Freddy's 2 showcase video. So for this showcase we have Toy Chica, the marionette or the puppet, Purple Guy, 2 crying children, Withered Bonnie, Withered Chica, 2 Withered Freddys, Withered Foxy, Balloon Boy, Toy Freddy, and Mangle. So without further ado, let's get into it. Actually, before we start, this showcase is incomplete at the moment. I might do an updated version after this. When all the figures are complete and stuff, because I still have to make Toy Bonnie, Shadow Bonnie, and Shadow Freddy. But other than that, that's basically all the figures I have to make. Now let's get on to the showcase. Sorry if some of these customs are a little bit dirty. They have been in totes and bags for a while, so like some of them ain't to the best quality, and some are unintentionally dirty from dirt and grit and all that gotten on the figures over time. Alright, so starting off with the Fnaf 2 crying children from the 8-bit minigames, we have what I started off with. I used a Minecraft head and a 1x1 brick. I glued them together. Then I painted them in granite gray. Painted their eyes black and gave them pewter gray tears for how they look like in the 8-bit minigames. There's really nothing on the back because that's how they look like from the front. It's mainly from the back, which they do have a weathering because over time the paint got dirty. But other than that, that's basically it for those two. Let's move on to the next minifigure. Alright, next off we have Fnaf 2's Purple Guy. As you can see here, I sanded down his hands halfway. Sanded down his legs, his torso, sides of his torso. His legs are a little bit sanded, and his face is sanded too because it's not as pronounced as original Lego heads. But I painted his mouth in black, giving him that smile. I gave him his eyes in this rectangular square shape. White. Painted the badge in black and gold. Painted the whole figure purple. Then I painted the badge in gold, which kind of looks like a Mario mushroom. Might fix that up. And I painted his smile. Next off we have is the Fnaf 2 puppet. As you can see with the puppet, I painted the torso in black, the legs halfway in black, because I think they had printing on them, or paint on them. Painted some white stripes, even though they're not the best as these are really old customs. I painted the white on the arms, gave the 2 buttons on, painted and sculpted the 2 buttons on her chest, and sculpted her mask. Sculpted and painted that in gloss paint. Probably not the best idea, honestly. But painted her red cheeks, red lipstick, purple tears, black eyes, white for the mask. I used an average Lego head and just sculpted the mask over it with a blob of clay / Procreate or green stuff, whichever one I was using at the time. Elevated the head a little. And other than that, pretty simple minifigure. Alright, next off we have is my original Withered Freddy. He's not the best. He's mainly made with Sculpey and a little bit of green stuff. His face is not the best either. His ears are alright. His top hat's pretty good. I painted his eyes in silver or light gray. I think it's light gray and the one just chipped. Painted white and black. His muzzle I painted in a flesh color with gray teeth. Black nose. Black for his bow tie, black for all the cuts in his arms and legs. This is from the glue and, cold air over time. But the legs have kind of gotten frosted. Sculpted on the legs. And add the indentations and the holes for the animatronic. No wires or anything. On the back, there's nothing on the back really, just, residue and stuff like that. Other than that, let's move on to the next custom. Alright, next custom we have here is Withered Freddy again, but this one is my version 2. He's more accurate compared to that other one I just showed. He has his blue eyes, his face is more accurate, I'd say, just a little bit more squished, unfortunately. Then his mouth has white for the teeth, silver for the endoskeleton jaw. It is painted on the upper side and lower side. But you can barely see the upper side because, it's painted on and the muzzle kind of hides it. Then for the arms are sculpted. Then I indented them with an X-Acto knife. Torso is sculpted. painted in tutorial beige and melted chocolate brown. Painted on the wires, the blue wire and the white wire, on his legs and arms, and made all the cuts in him. And silver for the endoskeleton, painted on all the black. Yeah, I did paint that on by Weber, that on the front and back of the minifigure. Sorry about that. His head is fully sculpted by me. His torso is fully sculpted by me. Arms and legs are too. Alright, next off here we have his Withered Bonnie. He is quite simple. He's not as complex as Withered Freddy. Well, in some sense, with his custom. As you can see here, I painted his hand silver. His 1 foot silver, I sanded that down to get more of the endoskeleton shape. Painted the legs purple. Added some indentations in there. Painted on the foot with blue and petunia purple. No, petunia purple and lavender, I guess. Purple iris, sorry. Then we have petunia purple for the stomach, and 2 buttons sculpted on, red bow tie sculpted on. Arm is painted on, not sculpted because this was before I was doing the sculpted arms. Upper arm is cut off, and it has some painting in black. And his face is fully sculpted by me, along with his head and bow tie. And the stomach and buttons. The head is completely painted by me too, except the teeth are kind of, you can't really see them that well. So I might fix that. Endoskeleton face painted on. All the indentations around it are sculpted for the mask being ripped off. Ears are sculpted, been painted in purple iris and petunia purple. On the back, there's nothing on the back really, just continuation of the lines and just a sculpt. Here's another front view. Alright, next off we have his Withered Chica, as you can see here with her legs. As you can see, I sculpted those on, painted them. Painted her legs halfway in orange. Then I added the white toes. Silver for the endoskeleton, black for the ribs. Black for the ribs again. On the upper part. Weathered it in black or brown, I don't remember exactly. Yeah, it's in black. For the torso, I glued out the arms. Then I glued some shoestring thread. And I painted the wires red and silver. Got to fix some of these up and make them in the accurate colors, like white and blue. I painted on her Let's Eat bib. And I sculpted and painted on her arms. Sculpted them with, Procreate. Used black. And then I painted on them with silver. Deco Art silver right here. Bright yellow for the whole thing. Painted on her Let's Eat in purple. I will probably make an outline of this in yellow. Well, the inner parts in yellow because that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be more accurate. The showcase is technically incomplete. Then for her eyes, I painted those on. Really difficult, actually, to paint those. Sculpted her whole head out of Procreate. Then I painted on most of the wires, but they're in red instead of red and blue. I feel like this is just fine how it is at the moment. Then her endoskeleton is painted on. It's just kind of hard to see, and it's not as good as like Withered Freddy's, because it's like before I did Withered Freddy. Her mouth is painted in red. Then the white for the teeth. Then black weathering all around this figure. Really nice figure, I must say, and there's no painting on the back side for her back part of her feet. I will probably do that. But yeah, that's it for Withered Chica. Let's move on to Withered Foxy. Alright, so Withered Foxy, he is pretty simple, I'd say. So with Foxy, his head is sculpted by me and painted in a Tuscan red or Flamico red. Same with the torso. Then I painted on the flesh tone for his snout, ear, and his stomach. Painted on white for the teeth. Gunmetal gray for his endoskeleton ear. Yellow for the eye. with a black outline. I made him a little bit more angry because he does look more angry in the game. His arms are just average Lego arms with the endoskeleton painted on. With his hook, I sculpted that on and put I think it's a paper clip in there. Then for his legs, I sanded those down a bit. Then I have his pants painted on in brown. And his legs are painted on in silver with a black weathering effect. Intentionally or not, I don't remember. And he has like indentations for his toes, animatronic toes. He has rips in his jeans. These are kind of random and scattered all over the place. They're not in any accurate places. He has a little bit of weathering painted on his torso, and I did sand down the torso a bit, so it could be, a little bit more accurate and you can see through it. Which looks pretty nice, I'd say. But yeah, I do plan to fix this up mainly with the ear and just repaint him a little bit too. To start off with toy animatronics, as you can see here with Toy Freddy, his head is completely sculpted by me out of green stuff. And his eyebrows were too, and everything on his head was sculpted by me. And his torso and legs are too. I'm hoping to fix his arm because it's a little bit too big, honestly. And his head is really inaccurate. And this one's facing outwards instead of inwards. His buttons have unfortunately chipped over time, but they are painted in black. His stomach is a custom mix of brown and orange. Same with his muzzle. And same with the inside of the inside of ears don't have it. Whoops, sorry. Then his lower half of his feet are sculpted. Legs are sculpted, and his lower half is just painted on in brown. As you can see, there's nothing on the back, besides more continuation of the endoskeleton and the suit. He's missing his upper teeth. I forgot to paint those on. Alright, next off we have here is Toy Chica. As you can see with Toy Chica, she's painted in yellow just like River Chica. She has gotten a little bit dirty over time, so her paints don't mix too well. Painted on her Let's Party bib with the white, purples, and blues. I gave her pink underwear, and her legs are painted in yellow and orange with the black endoskeleton outline. Her arms are outlined too in black. Then for her head is completely sculpted by me, and her bib is too. Her mouth is painted on in silver. Her cheeks are painted on in black. Her eyes are painted on in white and silver and gunmetal gray. Her eyebrows are painted on in black, and her hair is sculpted and painted. Alright, with Mangle, she's pretty simple. Because, I didn't really do that much compared to my other Mangle, which is Magician Mangle. Her head is completely sculpted. Her bow tie is completely sculpted. I indented on the endoskeleton. I painted her hand in white and her foot in white. Everything else is in gunmetal gray. Her eye is incomplete. I still need to paint the pupil. Her head has gotten dirty over time with dirt and grit. Over time, because white paint does not hold up that well. Here's the back. Nothing on the back besides continuation of the foot. But yeah, that's it for Mangle. I did paint on some hot pink accents with some metallic white, red for her lipstick, silver for her teeth. Let's move on to Balloon Boy. And certainly, but not least, we have Balloon Boy. I used Technic pieces, a 1x2 plate, and some studs, and I glued them all together, inspired by MSS Customs, or Mega Sega Star 221, back when he was doing customs. His torso is sculpted, and this is what inspired me to make Frostbite Balloon Boy. I still need to make his accessories. But yeah, I used this body design, kinda, but I expanded on it. It made it less thick and stuff like that. I sculpted on the buttons, painted those on in white. His stripes are painted on in red. His base body is blue. His pants are in dark blue. His arms are toothpicks that I painted on in flesh, and used a toothpick for the balloon. Painted that on in metallic red and yellow. balloon is made out of cardboard, and it is painted in black for the balloon sign. Then Balloon Boy's head is sculpted. His nose is painted in orange. His cheeks are painted in red. His face is painted in white and black. His eyes are painted in cool blue, black, white, and I think that's it. His hat is made with metallic red and blue. And on the back, it's just a continuation of his stripes. Other than that, that's basically it. There is some brown for his hair, but you can't really see that because it's kind of like, like you can see some of it, but not all of it. I fixed those with my more modern Balloon Boys, but yeah. This was one of my first Balloon Boys, so yeah. Let's move on to the conclusion of this video. Alright everyone, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Sorry about this one, I was a bit rushed. I am in a rush at the moment. Yeah, bye.